It is 7 PM on Tuesday, July 21st, 2020. Open the Committee of Committees meeting. You do roll call, please.
Yep, committee members Chris Sample,
I'm here.
John Talbot,
Here.
William Luxinger is absent, Dina Simpson is absent, Jen Christensen is absent, Jared Doan,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onabini, here, Clerk Sandy Mosum here, and Public Works Supervisor Brett Berge.
Here.
All right. Take a motion for the minutes.
I make a motion to approve June 16th, 2020 committee minutes.
Second.
That's already over. Jared makes a motion to approve the June 16th, 2020 committee meeting minutes. John seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes 7-0. Did you vote?
Can you just vote on all of these as well, too?
I will vote on them.
Thank you.
Yes, I did.
I will vote yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Neither did I, but it looked like you said yes to me.
So motion passes 7-3. Under me, we have the fuel report and water report. Does anybody have any questions on them? All right, we'll move on. Just to let you guys know, just met, with the attorneys on the settlement agreement for one of the lawsuits. We will be doing an update to that next week in closed session.
That's good for me, right?
Oh, my God.
Maybe not, never mind. Okay,
We'll talk.
all right, sounds good.
Do we need closed session on this?
We need closed session under there for pending litigation.
All right.
All right, move on to the clerk.
First thing on there is the FOIA report. Did anybody have any questions on it? All right. Second thing on there is, the fob system. Did everybody get my email with a bazillion quotes in them?
We did. I did, anyway. I don't know. John, you get it?
I did, Chris. I don't know about a zillion.
So last time,
Seven.
Locked up stuff.
last time I presented this and my recommendation to go with M. Spinelli, I was asked to please acquire some more quotes. So they're, as you can see, they're kind of all over the place, all over the board. I didn't know if anybody had any preference one over another. The only one that I would be uncomfortable with completely would be Rock Valley Alarm, simply because I don't know that they understood the scope of the work that we were attempting to do. Which you will see is why their quote is also significantly less than everybody else's.
Really, what was theirs? I can't remember.
12,000.
There were so many.
Well, and then, so Rock Protect Systems is our current fob system, and their quote was 16,400. M. Spinello, which would have to put in some new equipment, their quote was 23,900, and Anderson Locks, who you had asked us to get a quote from, their quote was
24,
23,100.
23.
So around the same as M. Spinello, because, again, new equipment. And then we also got a quote from Procom Systems, who I think we just got from Google, for 17,400. So they're kind of a little bit of a range going on there.
Procom is,
Wasn't there,
I think the control side of Ballard Electric.
All right.
I thought one had, was 17 something, but had the 1250. Was that Procom or is that somebody else?
Procom has a 17,500, but a deduction if we supply a computer of $1,200.
Oh, which we don't already have? Because it made it sound like we, or it made it look like we
We
have.
have not decided what we're doing on
All
the
right.
computer aspect yet.
Which is the cheapest?
Rock Valley Alarm, but.
Did you put this into?
Oh, no,
I'm
I'm
gonna ask you,
sorry.
did you put this into a spreadsheet for what it is?
No,
Okay.
because none of them are truly comparable. That's where we struggle. So
No-
Rock Protect Systems can use some of our existing equipment already, so they don't, their quote is going to be lower. I go back to my original statement with them, I struggle with communication on them.
No, their customer service hasn't been what we want.
And it has not, and I know that now that it's not just me, I'm not the only employee who's struggling with the communication. I'm very uncomfortable with that, especially when I'm trusting somebody with our alarm system. When I call them and tell them that our system is having problems and they don't respond, that's concerning to me.
I personally don't know if I'm willing to spend another $9,000.
I'd even be willing to try Procom then, or,
I've worked with Procom in the past at, one of the big facilities I worked at. We used them for, controls work, not for alarm systems, but they were excellent.
Yeah, I'd be.
What was theirs again?
17.4.
Alright, well, that's better than, I don't wanna spend
What were they
$23,000
proposing for a system for a,
Procom
Yeah.
is, two
I don't-
8-door control panels, two 4-door control panels, the Aurora Access Control software, which seems to be the standard across the field here. Removal of existing panels, system setup, and window access control computers. Reading this, I can tell you it appears as if they're missing a control panel on their quote. Because I should have one 8-reader, 3 4-readers, and one 2-reader, and they've got 2 8-readers and 2 4-readers.
is it a 3-in-1?
Instead of, they're missing one more
Or-
4 and a 2.
I thought you needed 1 8 and 3 4s.
I need 1 8, 3 4s, 1 2. And they have 2 8s and 2 4s.
Maybe they're gonna consolidate the 4 and the 2 into the 8.
I don't know if they can because of the buildings they're in. Because each one of those access panels is in a different building.
Be a good question for them.
But I just kinda need some direction here, because I've got 5, you asked me to get more, there's 5 now. Even if you tell me what 2 you're interested in, I'll ask them to update their quotes, and I'll ask Weaver to confirm they're up to date and everything else. Here's the concern, is I mentioned this before the budget year. I said that we're gonna reach a point where our system is either going to need money injected into it as it stands now, or it's gonna fail and we're no longer gonna have access to it. Weaver's to the point he has to replace all of the backup batteries. They've expired by several months now, and he should have done it a few months ago, but he's kind of been waiting on me. So he said at this point, he either needs to start spending the money on those replacements, or we need to make a decision moving
Are they actually bad,
forward.
or are they just scheduled for replacement?
They're scheduled for
Yeah.
replacement, but we won't know if they're bad until they,
I can bring a battery tester for
I'd say
them.
you can bring a meter and see where they're at.
Yeah. The hard thing is, you gotta be able to put a battery under load to be able to test it.
Well,
so.
Are those little motorcycles?
It's just a part of his
Yeah.
maintenance cycle, and we're to that point that he needs to take a step in that maintenance cycle. I know Brenda's still struggling with that program. I think it was last week, you guys could hear the alarms going off from her computer, that was the door system. Every time she makes a change, it locks our front door.
So beyond the obviously low one, who are the 2 lowest?
Rockford Tech Systems and Procom.
Rockford Tech Systems because of another reason. Take Rockford Tech Systems out of the mix.
Then it's gonna be
Well, you-
Procom and Anderson
you
Lock.
can't really take them out because they do have the equipment.
Right. They do have the equipment.
The advantage of using their existing.
I get that, and that to me isn't an issue. Their service might be an
Their
issue.
service is the
It's whether or not you can live with it if you're saving enough money.
Agreed. And again,
So what are your thoughts, Chris?
But I would go with the 2 of them and actually have them refine their stuff and then decide which one you're gonna go with.
Well, and then it might come down to Procom where you ask them, we need a different contact.
You mean Rockford Tech Systems?
Yeah.
We've already
Sorry.
done that.
But I mean, if the difference between the 2 quotes, assuming you get the one refined, is only $1,000, then I wouldn't have a problem changing companies and seeing how the next one went. I just don't wanna pay $9,000 for the privilege.
So I'm happy to
That's
reach
fine.
out to Procom, ask them before next week to update their quote, have Weaver double check it with them,
Yep.
go over it, and then bring these back.
Yeah, 'cause if you should have 1, 3, and 1,
Yeah.
and you've got two they can consolidate them,
And then
just
maybe
make sure
the
it's right.
answer here. So I'll just ask Weaver to double check on these 2. We'll just knock out M. Spinello and Anderson, and Rock Valley is just not, and see if I can get these 2 refined.
Basically speaking, that would be the difference.
Okay.
You know, the one that's too low, unless you wanted to go over the scope with them again.
We have met with that gentleman 5 or 6 times.
And that's
I'm
not, so
sure.
apparently their service isn't gonna be much better, huh?
I don't know if it's that, or he just doesn't understand that we're trying to get away from the existing computer program. That was really where the struggle came in. And so all the rest of these have provided the updated program, except for that particular quote, which is also why it could be lower than the rest. Also in those quotes, there were 2 quotes for Bob's system proposals for the, fuel system, because that fob system also needs to be updated. So you saw 2 quotes in there from Stenstrom and Howard Lee. So there are 2 quotes in there as well that are simply only for the fuel system. Stenstrom has three scenarios in here, the highest being 15.6, the lowest being 10, and Howard Lee's is 15.2.
Just out of curiosity, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, we can't combine them and get a better rate on both?
The people who do the alarms don't seem to do the fuel systems, like, you'll notice that these people did. Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
seems convenient.
Good thought, though.
Very good thought.
yeah,
If we do have to do fobs and fuel system, I'd go with Howard Lee.
yeah. We have fobs on the fuel system already, it just, we need to update it, same scenario as we are with the village fob.
Or that-
Everything that's out there is obsolete.
Yeah, then I'd go
Why-
with
why?
Howard Lee.
Prudent.
Why?
Yeah, I
Good
just want,
quality and they're always there.
all right,
And we've had good luck, we've also used Stenstrom, they've come down, our equipment is not even theirs, and they have come down on an emergency call out for us, so, we were also thrilled as well with Stenstrom too.
I thought they did
We have
concrete.
two good companies here.
I thought they did
Howard Lee's
concrete.
been around
Really?
around here
Wow,
for
okay.
a long time,
Bobby's
and
done
it's
a lot.
family owned, and they know their stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
the difference between them is.
Just to correct what I said earlier, they're not part of Ballard Electric, they're part of, Kelso Burnett.
Yeah, 'cause Ballard got bought out, or they merged, or whatever.
They're Morse,
Huh?
they're part of the Morse Group, I believe.
Yeah, but they merged, somehow the name's
So,
Kelso.
just I had the wrong electricians. It's Kelso Burnett instead of Ballard.
Alright, well, because I'm gonna do a little bit more research on that other one and bring them back next week to you. I will also put the Stenstrom and the Howard Lee quotes back into the packet as well. If I can get these quotes narrowed down, I will probably ask to stick them on the agenda for possible approval. It doesn't mean we have to approve them, but that if we do come to an agreement next week, that we can get them approved.
Well, with the other three people, they should probably, have a say.
Review it and let
That
us
aren't here.
know.
Well,
Just out of curiosity.
well, they'll have,
The village business still has to move forward.
they'll have it ahead of time, they'll be able to.
No, I know, but I
They'll have it
assume
ahead of
they'll be
time.
at the next, or at least
They will not be.
none? I thought two of them
I
would
will
be.
have Dina back and that's it.
That's it?
No,
No, I thought
Nope,
Jen said she was missing 2 weeks.
they'll all be back. So they'll all be in the packet, they'll all be back.
Yeah, they'll have time to review it.
Not, the thing I got from William said he wouldn't be back till August 2nd, or 1st or something, so.
No, you're right, William's still gone.
Yeah, but
William
the,
was gone 3 weeks, Dina was missing this one, and Jen was missing 2. So Jen and Dina will be back next week, they'll also receive the board packet. So I will have just narrowed it down to the two fob quotes and the two fuel system fob quotes for the packet.
all right,
And so we'll see what their opinions are. That's why I said I'll put it on there for possible approval, and that way if we choose to take action, we can, if not, we'll move it to another
You-
meeting.
sounds good.
All right? That's all I had for now until we get to Dina.
Brenda? All right, committees, community,
Do you want to talk about the JRB, or did you want to wait till we have a full board next week?
let's wait till next week.
Okay.
Community development, anybody have anything on that?
Yes. So, I have not had an opportunity to discuss this with Jen, but I do know that she would like the movie in the park to be on August 15th. The movie company has asked us to execute a new agreement with the August 15th date on it, so that is what is in the packet.
Anybody have any issues with that being on next week?
No.
I don't know, what, are we really gonna do it? Are we,
Why,
don't-
we did the fireworks, why
well,
wouldn't
no,
we do
don't look, I don't really care.
I-
It matters not to me, I'm just wondering if anybody's gonna go.
I had email corresponded with Jen, and she has asked me to start promoting it, so at this point, her intentions are to continue to move forward
All
with
right,
it.
whatever, fine with me.
And they'll be outside, they can socially distance outside.
Yeah. I don't know what other ideas she has, but she's been out of
Without the
town.
fireworks, it'll probably be a smaller crowd anyway,
They always are.
something to do outside.
Yeah.
Lots of wind, hopefully.
So, there is one thing in the background that I'm waiting on. We did give them a payment, so I'm just waiting for them to confirm and apply that to this agreement. And then as soon as he confirms with me that he'll apply it to that, then we'll go ahead and I'll put this on the agenda for next week.
Excellent. Anyone have anything for finance? Treasurer? Ordinance enforcement?
Nothing.
Parks?
I don't have anything this evening, but Jared, I had a resident just text me, Sandy may know, well, do we need a permit to have a shed delivered that is already built and is going to be set on property?
Yes,
Do you know the cost?
it depends upon the inspections, but I think it's running about 110, 120 right now.
All right.
I'd have to look it up. But they can get building inspection forms are found on our website at davisjunction.com under forms, or they can pick them up from Village Hall anytime during the day.
You wanna put that microphone closer and say that again?
Sure.
For those watching the video?
I know, building forms can be found online at davisjunction.com under forms, or you can pick up building permit forms from Village Hall Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, closed at lunch.
It's almost like we're talking to the public.
I know.
Why does it cost $110?
I
Gonna be-
have to double check that one. That's why I said I kinda need my permit sheet in front of me to be able to confirm.
Cause you're gonna have the site
It's-
prep.
It's
One or
a
two
20,
trips.
no, I might be wrong. It's a $25 plan review fee, a 45 inspection fee, and then our admin fee. But I'd have to confirm that.
I mean, you wanna make sure they're setting it in the right place, Chris, otherwise if
Yeah.
you just say, no, you could end up with next.
No, I get that part, but I wouldn't think, if it's already built.
Yeah,
No,
so it
it-
does
It's not a
require,
structural, I don't think.
it does require an inspection to confirm that it has been attached appropriately to the ground. It does require
I just
secure
thought they set them
attachment.
down.
No,
Well, no.
they have to be attached.
They probably would if you let them, but that's why the
Yeah.
inspector makes, otherwise it's gonna become like a flying frisbee, like those.
My neighbor's built and delivered shed has holes in it from somebody's trampoline that wasn't secured to the ground during a windstorm.
Yeah, no,
And the
they
leg
have,
is stuck through his
sheds
roof.
have to be secured.
Because my floor in my shed's done, you did it like a dead man, so it can't pull, it's not supposed to pull away.
Yeah. My
Take it in the ground like a,
Right.
like you do those, we did anyway, just so it can't pull away.
Yeah, I've got 4-foot drilled
So,
stakes into the ground holding mine in,
All right,
yeah.
otherwise, trust me, people would probably,
I know, I don't know, $110 seems like a lot for just setting up.
It might be, that's why I said I'd have to look at the inspection costs on that one.
Never mind, they'll find out.
They'll
find
out.
themselves.
Streets,
I don't know, we got anything?
that's like the least you've ever had.
Well, I was gonna ask them if we got any tentative date for, Edson.
No.
All right, thanks.
that was simple enough.
Anything further?
Nope.
Utilities?
Also me. So in the board packet are a few documents that I've received from LR Communication. I have struggled in my communication with them over the last couple of months. I have asked many a times for their requested changes to our lease. They're asking for additional land space, additional rental space, and additional provisions in the lease. But every time I ask them to give me changes to the lease, I receive what you guys see in the board packet, which I think has a 3-word change that has nothing to do with the actual land that they rent from us, and it has nothing to do with the amount of money they rent from us or an extension of the lease. It has no other additional changes to it. So I'm kind of struggling. Corey from LR then sends me these 2 drawings and says, this is what I want. Again, no changes to the lease. I don't know what he wants beyond one of these 2 possible drawings as an additional land lease space. So my concerns at this time are, he still has not given us any changes to the lease. We have a lease that's valid till 2025. I confirmed with Dan, it's really they're the ones who want the changes, they're the ones who want the additional land lease. They should be providing us with proposed changes to the lease agreement
Detailed?
that incorporate these things.
So can we explain that to them, or
I've tried,
can you put, if you put it in writing?
Dan said maybe today, Dan's suggestion today was to maybe see who their lawyer is and just go that route.
Have you
instead.
call him?
Y-
Or
Or have Dan call him and say, we're not making these changes, tell us what you want, because we're really struggling with that aspect. And so then he provides me these 2 drawings and says, I want one of these 2, but again, he's not really asking for one or the other, he's asking for either, whatever one will give him. He does prefer the one that has a building back towards, next to the Verizon unit. My concern with that is that we're currently doing a water tower project in which Verizon is also putting up a temporary tower out there to hold their antennas. And so I'm concerned with them being in the same space as our water tower project. And I mentioned to Dina that perhaps this is something that should hold off until after the water tower project has been completed. But that's really a decision for you guys to
So
make.
what we need to do is,
No decision.
instead of having Dan do it and cost us money, you want to find out who their attorney is? You can call their lawyer and say, look, these are not terms, these are not,
Yeah.
this is not detailed, this is a
Or
sketch.
Or I'll send it to Corey and ask him to forward it
There you
to
go.
the attorney. Yeah, and let him know that until
We need,
these, I'm sure you guys saw, there's literally like a 3-word change in the entire lease document, and I'm like, that doesn't tell us what you want.
right. We need detailed ideas of what the plans are, of either drawing, and what they wanna see changed in the lease.
Yeah.
Especially with space, that means it's more.
Yes, well, and that's the thing is, I even asked him, and he said, and the other thing is, our original lease allowed us to have free internet. We don't get free internet anymore, because we don't use your internet services. So if they're gonna modify the lease, I said, now what are you gonna do for that? And he said, well, I don't know, what do you want? And I'm like, offer, like, you're the one asking for the changes here.
Exactly.
There's nothing really for us to consider.
There's not, because he hasn't offered
Right.
anything. And so I'm
This
really
is what you
puzzled.
get, there's no way you can make a decision on that.
Right.
No, there's not, or on the lease that I put in there, because it's the 3 changes. So Dina just wanted me to discuss with you guys, confirm you guys are on the same page, that we should just keep kicking it back to them. And then the other discussion is, do we also let them know that we're just not interested in amending the lease until the water tower project is completed?
Would seem stupid to amend it until it was finished, because you don't really, I mean, they would just have to take it down anyway, anything, I mean, when are we gonna start the water tower lease, project? Soon, right?
The start date at the earliest, I think, was August 19th.
Yeah, well, that's
But-
Yeah.
So
less
let's,
than a month away.
I like
a
your
month away.
suggestion, so let's do that. Let's put together, we need more definition of these projects, more details, more of what the lease is going, what you want to see the lease read like,
Yeah.
so we can actually have something to review other than a sketch. Send it to Corey, have him forward it to his attorney, and maybe he'll get what we're asking for.
Okay.
So if Corey thinks this is a definition, I mean, he very well could, and that's,
It's why.
but we don't do business like this anymore,
No,
so.
and Dina's talked to him, and I've talked to him, and we both said the same thing, and I must speak a different language when talking to him, because I just can't grasp I need the changes to the lease.
No hurry, 'cause by the time you get it, it'll.
Right.
It is quite
tearing it,
possible that
right.
by the time we hash this out, the water tower project will be done. I will tell you that Corey is interested, and the reason he keeps, contacting both Dina and I is because he is trying to move as quickly as possible on this, because he needs to be able to provide additional internet service to those who have LR Communications as their service provider in our area.
To provide additional service, or better service, or more
That's
people?
Probably.
I think all of the above.
Because those are all gonna benefit him.
Yes, all of them do. His biggest thing was that they had more people online at home, and so it's taxed their
Oh, it does.
equipment they have. and
We,
so
we,
they-
we use their service, and it
Yeah.
shuts off a couple times a day.
Yeah, so they need they need to be able to add this additional stuff in to connect to the fiber.
Sure that
and
all of them are that way.
Yeah.
Well,
This is
the
essentially-
service we used before never,
No, I just
Almost
mean,
never
right
went
now,
down.
I'm sure that a lot of people are working from home, so a lot of the providers are probably being overtaxed because they don't necessarily provide for that on a regular basis.
we just switched to them during this whole process, and Tracy works from home a lot. And, she'll be sitting there, all of a sudden it just shuts down, and the internet's lost.
I can't use them because I live too close to them. I don't get any service.
There's no,
There's no direct down. So, all right, I'll talk to Corey, see what else I can dig around and dig out, and maybe I'll just copy you on it, Rick, and Dina as well,
Okay.
so that maybe if I'm not saying it correctly, one of you two can
Well,
chime in,
it's-
maybe.
you know, what you said has a lot of merit. I've met people in my life that I think are very good at what they do. We worked together, but
Yeah.
the two of us could not communicate.
Yes.
I knew he knew what he was talking about,
Yes,
but what he was saying to me made no sense to
Yeah.
me. And it was the same way the other way around.
honestly, I think that's exactly what's happening, but Dina's also attempted the communication, and I think Dina and I maybe just communicate too much alike.
It could be.
So, anyway, I'll try again, we'll see what we can do, I'll put it in writing, I'll just let him know that there's really nothing for us to do until he gives us those proposed changes to the lease. That's all I had.
All right, anything on unfinished business? If we go back to the, nothing on unfinished business, then we'll move on to public.
I do have a public comment I need to read.
Okay,
So, I told you guys weeks ago that even though, not all public has to be here, and that if a public member asked me to read something during public comment, I always would as a form of communication with this board. So I received an email, from resident John Sepper, and I was asked to read this portion. He would like to object to trustee Talbot's request to be paid for an outside meeting with his attendance at the July 8th, 2020 JRB meeting. Minus my questions, the meeting would have lasted 10 minutes and basically consisted of a PowerPoint presentation by SB Friedman regarding the TIF status. The JRB in itself is made up of the required parties for this meeting. Also, trustee Talbot had no note-taking material, contributed no questions or opinions to the meeting, and for the most part, the JRB is an annual procedural meeting, and in my opinion, there is no justifiable reason for trustee Talbot to be paid for attending this meeting, particularly citing his lack of contribution or readiness to take notes mentioned above. So, John just asked me to read that prior to it being on the agenda for approval next week.
And my attending the meeting does not violate the village ordinance and is in compliance with our village ordinance for outside meetings.
John, can you actually lean forward and say that into your mic too, so the public can hear?
First of all, I spoke that I was going to the meeting in front of this board prior to going to that meeting, and obviously I didn't hear any objections. Second of all, it is in compliance with our resolution or ordinance that allows us to go to those meetings. Some meetings run 10 minutes, some meetings run 2-3 hours. I certainly do more than 12 a year, and that's the way. As far as my note-taking, I can keep the thoughts in my head. For all he knows, I could have been recording the meeting with my phone, reviewing it later, so. It did not violate any resolution. It's in compliance with the village's resolution for outside meeting pay.
That's all I had for public comment.
all right.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Chris makes a motion to adjourn, John seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. We're adjourned at 7:29, and I'm an aye.